Need wheels for PS5 that don't feel toy-like or vague? I analyzed 5 wheels for PS5 that actually deliver consistent, realistic force feedback. What I found about motor technology and build quality will save you from limp, immersion-killing PS5 racing steering wheels. Here we go. Starting off at number 5, this one nails immersion without sacrificing simple setup. We have the Logitech G923 with TRUEFORCE wheel and pedals. What stands out immediately is the force feedback. TRUEFORCE actually hooks into the game engine and feeds you tiny details. You feel the curb rumble, tire slip, even subtle changes in grip, not just big crashes. The wheel is constantly updating those forces thousands of times a second, so nothing feels delayed or muddy. Picture dropping into a race in Gran Turismo or F1. You turn in, and the wheel tightens as the front tires load up. Hit a bump mid-corner, you feel a sharp kick, not a vague shake. That extra detail helps you catch slides earlier and judge how much you can push. The wheel itself feels premium in the hands. Hand-stitched leather, metal paddle shifters, and a solid weight so it doesn't feel like a toy. On the face, you get dedicated PlayStation buttons, a rotary dial, and plenty of extra inputs. You can tweak things like force feedback strength and wheel sensitivity right on the rim without digging through menus. Now, this next part is what separates it from older entry wheels. You get that programmable dual clutch system for race starts and supported games. Set your bite point once, pull both paddles, and you get much more consistent launches. There's also a built-in LED rev indicator, so you can shift off the wheel instead of staring at the HUD. Pedals are metal and feel sturdy, with a stiffer brake spring, so braking doesn't feel like pressing air. They're not high-end load cell pedals, but for most people, they're a big step up from basic plastic sets. One thing to keep in mind, the gear-driven motor can make some mechanical noise, especially with high feedback. Not crazy loud, but you'll hear it in quiet rooms. Where this really makes sense is if you want a serious step into PS5 sim racing without going full pro rig. You get detailed feedback, good build quality, and console-friendly controls in one package. You'll find the link in the description. Next up at number 4, this one leans hard into full Formula 1 style. We have the Thrustmaster Ferrari SF1000 Formula Wheel add-on. If you mainly race F1 and feel like a normal round wheel breaks the illusion, this pretty much fixes that. Picture loading into a 50% race. Instead of staring at tiny HUD text, you've got a 4.3-inch IPS screen right in the center of the wheel. It can show things like lap delta, tire temps, fuel, ERs, all that telemetry, with different layouts depending on the game. That screen can display a lot of data at once, but because it's IPS, it stays sharp and readable while you're driving. You glance down for half a second, get your info, and keep your eyes mostly on the track. It feels a lot closer to what you see on board in real F1 broadcasts. The faceplate is 3mm of carbon fiber, built up in 21 layers, so it's rigid and light, which helps the force feedback from your base feel clean instead of dull. You're not fighting flex in the rim when you hit curbs or load up the front end. Now, this next part is what separates it. You get up to 25 action buttons, including 7 rotary encoders. That means you can map brake bias, differential, engine modes, ERS, radio, whatever you like, and adjust it on the fly without pausing. The labels are official Ferrari style, so there's a nice real car vibe when you start memorizing where everything lives. The shifters are aluminum magnetic paddles with a crisp, mechanical click that feels deliberate but not brutal. On top of that, there are 2 extra analog paddles, so you can run a dual clutch launch or map them to throttle, brake, or even look functions if you want. Important detail though, this is only a wheel rim. There's no motor, no base, no pedals. You'll need a compatible Thrustmaster T-Series base on PS5, Xbox, or PC for it to work at all, so it makes the most sense if you're already in that ecosystem and want to upgrade your F1 experience, not as your very first wheel. If that sounds like you, this one's worth a look. Link is in the description. Next up at number 3, this one takes a completely different approach to force feedback. We have the Thrustmaster T598 direct drive racing wheel. Here's what's interesting about it. This is a direct drive base with an axial flux motor, not a gear or belt system, so the wheel connects straight to the motor shaft. No gears in between, to add slack, noise, or mushy feeling. Picture loading into Gran Turismo, or an endurance race on PS5. As you turn in, the weight builds smoothly, not in little steps. Hit a curb and you get a sharp, clean jolt. Run over rough tarmac and you feel that texture as a fine vibration, not just a generic shake. The motor is rated at around 5 Nm of constant torque, with an overboost on top. That's strong enough to feel like a real steering rack, without needing a gym membership. It also means the force stays consistent over a race, instead of fading when things get busy. Thrustmaster's Harmony tech focuses on high-frequency detail, so you can pick up things like tire scrub, ABS pulsing, and rumble strips more clearly. That extra layer helps with catching slides earlier, and judging when the tires are starting to let go. The included wheel rim is about 11.8 inches, so close to a real car size. You get magnetic paddle shifters with a crisp click, and a full PlayStation layout on the face. The rim is detachable too, so you've got an upgrade path inside the Thrustmaster ecosystem. You also get the Raceline pedals LTE set in the box. The pedals feel sturdier than basic plastic ones, with a firmer brake so modulation is easier. They're not high-end load cell pedal, but they're a solid starting point for most living room setups. Where this really shines is as a first step into direct drive on PS5, PS4, or PC. Just remember, the base strength and included pedals sit more in the mid-tier, so serious sim heads may eventually want beefier pedals or extra rims. You'll find the link in the description. These products are great, but there are hundreds of deals every day, and most of them are trash. That's why I pick the 5 best from each category every day and post them for free on Telegram. And you can choose only the categories that interest you, with zero spam. Link in the description. At number 2, this is where smooth, classic, belt-driven feel really stands out. We have the Thrustmaster T300 RS Force Feedback Wheel, GT Edition. This solves a problem a lot of wheels ignore: notchy, loud force feedback. Here, the brushless motor and dual belt system keep everything fluid and quiet. You still get weight and resistance in your hands, but without the grinding or rattling. On track, that translates to more confidence. Picture a long stint in Gran Turismo on PS5. As you turn in, the wheel loads up gradually, not in steps. Clip a curb and you get a clean jolt, not a buzz. When the front starts to wash wide, you feel that lightness early enough to react. The rim itself feels like a proper GT wheel. It's about 11 inches across with brushed metal spokes and rubber around the entire circumference, so your hands don't slip, even in long races, and the size feels close to a real car, not a toy. Because it has the official Gran Turismo license, the PlayStation buttons and layout feel natural on PS5. You can handle menus, pause, and camera changes right from the wheel, which keeps you out of the controller. The GT pedal set is a nice step up from basic plastic ones. You get 3 pedals and you can adjust height and spacing to match your seating. The brake is noticeably stiffer than the throttle, so trail braking and heel and toe feel more controlled. They're not load cell pedals, but for most living room setups, they're more than enough to start pushing lap times. Setup on PS5 is pretty straightforward. Plug it into USB, let the wheel calibrate, and you're racing. You'll probably spend more time fine-tuning force feedback, strength, and rotation in each game than actually wiring anything. Where this makes the most sense is if you want smoother, more detailed feedback than basic entry wheels, without jumping straight into a brutal direct drive base. Just remember, the included pedals are a solid starting point, but serious sim heads might eventually want to upgrade them. Check the link in the description. Before we reveal our number 1, be sure to check out the description below for the freshest deals on each of these items. And finally, number 1. This is where a classic, no-nonsense setup still makes a lot of sense. We have the Logitech G29 racing wheel and pedals. For a lot of people, this is that first real wheel that replaces the controller. You clamp it to a desk or stand, plug it into your PS5 or PC, and it just works. No weird tinkering, no mystery settings before you can turn a lap. The wheel uses force feedback with helical gearing, so you get proper resistance and detail. As you turn in, you feel the weight build up. Run over a curb, you get a defined kick instead of a vague shake. The helical gears help keep it smoother and quieter than straight gears, so it doesn't sound like a coffee grinder the whole time. Rotation goes up to 900 degrees, so about 2.5 turns lock to lock. That means you can run proper steering angles for rally and road cars, but still dial it down in games if you like quicker input. In the hands, it feels more like a real wheel than a toy. The rim is wrapped in hand-stitched leather with metal paddle shifters behind it. You've got the full PlayStation button layout right on the face, plus a dial and extra buttons, so you're not constantly reaching for the controller in menus. Now, the interesting part is the pedal set. You get 3 pedals on a solid base with a non-linear brake. The harder you press, the more it ramps up, which is closer to a real brake pedal than a simple spring. You can also adjust the pedal faces to change spacing, so heel and toe or sock racing both feel workable. On PC, you can dive into Logitech's G-Hub software and tweak force levels, sensitivity, and button mapping. On PS5 and PS4, most games pick it up right away, and you just fine-tune rotation and feedback in the in-game option. Just remember that this is built for PlayStation and PC, not Xbox, and while the feedback is plenty for most people, hardcore sim racers might eventually want stronger bases or upgraded pedals down the line. If you're stepping into sim racing and want something proven, with a clear upgrade path later, this is a very solid starting point. Links in the description. Now you know exactly which PS5 wheels deliver real force feedback and which flimsy toy-like setups to skip for good. For your first serious plug-and-play wheel, choose number 1. For smoother GT belt drive feel, go with number 2. For a first direct drive step, pick number 3. Game launches spike demand and kill bundles fast, so check the links in the description.